Hello and welcome to the corner. I'm the Frosted Glass, and I'm joined by my fellow Alabaster Savages. I like boobs,
Hey, it's
or
great to see.
or
No,
not Jack Gunsky, whichever name you're going by.
it's great to see Hate Camel on. It's been such a long time since he's been on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is. A Moonshock.
Hey there, baby. You want to go outside and talk more about me?
Terry Diamantis.
Johnny Blaze reckons we're muted, so I don't know if that was just because you hadn't started the show yet. Or
Are we muted?
We actually are muted.
Oh, well, the son just said I'm gay. Oh, everybody's saying hi to son.
No, we shouldn't be muted.
Okay.
Is
No,
Johnny
I just
Blaze just messing with
chat.
us?
Probably.
All right, and this week's special guest, Hate Camel.
Well, I'm happy to be here as long as you're not offering blankets.
Yes.
Hate Camel, who always arrives on time. Thanks for being here, buddy.
She's yelling hello, but no one's answering.
So, how are you guys doing?
Yeah, not bad.
All right.
Hey, we have power this weekend at least.
Power is
Nice.
yours.
Give it time.
Yeah, until it gives out halfway through the stream, right, Moon? Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
last week it wasn't the power that got me out. That got me out of the stream. No, it was the internet that crapped out and didn't come back until like midnight. Oh, shut your fucking mouth! You know
Yeah.
damn well I wasn't lying.
This is what happens when you live in the sticks, Moon. You should
I
be used to
don't.
it by now.
But we don't live in the sticks. Will has been here. He can verify I don't live in the sticks.
He doesn't live in the sticks. He lives in the rocks. He's like that's.
Yes, exactly. I live in the logs, not the sticks.
Yeah. He only lives in the sticks because he only lives in the sticks because he's a renegade.
Exactly.
Say
Yeah,
where
I like
he
that.
lives. Say where he lives is urban compared to where I grew up, but
Yes.
that's quite the comparison.
And
No,
between two major
I
cities.
I thought Frosted was going to say he lives in the sticks because he's a faggot.
I mean that too.
Ooh.
That's just implied.
Oh,
That's
wait.
right. I'm disappointed because you weren't here the other week when I made all those faggot jokes at your expense, Moon.
Whatever. Oh, by the way, we were talking about it before stream, but do we want to give out this evening's alert or this evening's warning?
No.
I don't even know what the warning is, so I'm just gonna trip right over it, aren't I?
No, Tira's a pussy, and he insists on a warning for the photos of the medium article authors.
Yeah.
Just offer a single one right now.
Let's just put it this way: instead of a trigger warning, we'd get a.
You can say it.
I
Well, now you're just taking my pre-stream jokes. Come on.
Yes.
All right. So
Yeah, quit being such a nigger, Moon.
Yeah, exactly.
I just got one of those voices here.
Oh, for God's sake!
I'm just thinking of back before he was pussified. Say nigger.
Oh yeah. Is that iDubbbz?
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know. That's the only thing that I knew about that guy.
Yeah, same here. But
He did
from what I've heard, the new iDubbbz would not partake in such
Yeah.
a stunt.
the old iDubbbz was something else. He was a madman. I mean, this is the guy. He would just he would break like glass bottles with the hammer on screen like it was nothing. Like the man was chaotic energy.
Well, I mean, I appreciated his stance of either it's all okay or none of it is, which is why he
Yeah.
was like, the whole nigger thing was, you can't say this is a special bad word. That no, like if you're okay with profanity, then you have to be okay with that one too. Like, otherwise, you're being inconsistent.
He's
Yeah.
pathetic.
So let's say we start with our first article,
Oh God,
Where-
must we?
where we will learn about one of the greatest fascist threats that is currently facing our nation.
And just because he hasn't had said hi yet, hi Frosted, hi Terry, hi Will.
Hi,
What
son.
up, though?
Hi, son.
What I'm doing? Hello and hello. And no, they didn't sound like that when they said it.
I know they don't sound gay.
Ah!
Yeah, I was gonna say, why do I sound like a gay Indian man?
Fine. They said hi and hello.
Hey, Camel's not here right now. I mean, hey, Camel's right here in chat.
Yes,
Just
he's
because I
right
said it the
here.
right way does not mean that I'm still gay.
He's right here, and no one can prove otherwise. All right. So, like I said, the greatest fascist threat that our nation is currently facing. Critiquing Greta Thunberg from the left.
How dare you?
Oh, okay.
Hello, comrades.
What do
And
we
if
got
you're
here?
not a comrade yet, hello, future comrades.
Joshua
Oh,
Brown.
I've never written a Medium article before, but I've been reading Medium articles for years.
Faggots.
I read a lot of articles written by Rainer Shea, and I just saw that anyone can write an article, so I thought I would give it a go.
Oh, I need to find this guy's picture. This guy, if he
How
is
dare
lucky-
you?
Hold on a second. I got
If I decide to write more Medium articles, this isn't the topic I'm always going to write about. But for this article, I'm going with the topic I most recently posted about on Facebook. I think it's fair to say that if a person or movement makes it
I'll
in the
find it.
capitalist ruling class Western media, that person or movement is either really despicable or a complete load of crap.
You said load of crap.
But here's why this one isn't.
In recent years, the bourgeoisie is portraying itself as liberal in a desperate attempt to keep their heads amid the decline of the capitalist, colonialist U.S. empire. And liberals have their disadvantaged puppets that it's politically expedient for anyone to argue with. One example is 17-year-old climate activist Greta Thunberg.
She's
Oh, I
such a
just
dumb
heard-
bitch.
No, I just realized that means the article is old because she's not 17 anymore.
No.
Yeah, this is from 2020.
Okay.
Ms. Thunberg has spent her entire time in politics being a green capitalist, social fascist sheepdog. She just
Good God, you can do literally nothing to please these people ever. It
No,
doesn't
of
matter
course not.
what you do. There's always going to be some like what
come on.
armchair quarterback bullshit where they're
Oh my
not allowed to
God.
acknowledge you.
Oh, you guys have got to see this dude. He looks
Well,
like a
if-
fucking retarded chipmunk.
If we can,
Why?
if we could,
Here's
Why
your
does-
trigger warning.
Here's your trigger warning. This
if
guy
we
looks like a
continue with
retarded
the
chipmunk.
article,
No, he
we'll
doesn't. He
find.
looks like an adult version of the kid in Up.
There you
If
go.
we continue with
This-
the article, we'll find out what she could do to please him.
That's this
Oh, there you
guy.
go.
Right on.
Enjoy.
I'm gonna hit a hole.
Yeah,
Also,
well-
the YouTube link.
If it's a leftist,
Oh,
I
oops,
imagine
my
the
bad,
answer
sorry.
is sucking his dick.
Wrong
Yeah.
one. Don't go to that.
I'm not sure that's the author, Moon.
Sorry. Oh my god! I apparently Control C didn't work, so never mind.
Hey,
Is
Moon.
that just the Johnny Bravo? clip that you
Yes,
sent
that
before?
was.
Yeah.
Yes.
Hey, Moon.
What do you want, Will?
Ginger much?
Shut up.
Well,
I know.
She just endorsed Joe Biden,
Cut.
who literally just pledged his support for fracking.
There's your picture.
Okay.
Yeah.
For the record, I never look at any of Moon's pictures. The only time I ever see them is if Braniel shows them to me, and I ain't at Braniel's tonight, so
Okay.
Well,
I'll
you're-
I'll,
then look at
I'll
it
take
anyway.
Chipmunk's movie Rejected Models for 500, Alex.
She just endorsed Joe Biden, who literally just pledged his support.
Bubblegum.
Who just pledged his support for fracking, who has removed mountaintop clear-cut extracted tar sands, drilled offshore, authorized DAPL, and shot tear gas at protesters, and of course,
Wait,
bombed socialist countries of color.
when did he shoot tear gas at anyone except for, Americans?
I don't know.
This
Uh,
is all wrong.
Yeah.
Amid the decline of the capitalist, colonialist, imperialist, fascist U.S. empire, wow, we have so many adjectives.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could learn a thing or
I'm-
two, Jack.
I'm waiting for. I should be in school.
The
Well, I can't
capitalist.
author, too.
I can't use colonialist for a fake Medium article. It would come out correct.
True.
The capitalist
Or
imperialist
imperialist or fascist.
Or
And rule-
chunky.
and ruling class media all need Biden to win and Trump to lose in order to mask up these repressions and prevent Washington from collapsing under the weight of its own crimes.
For the record, only Jack is allowed to use the word chunky as an adjective.
No, not even him.
I have been barred from doing so apparently.
Yes. You can use rigor as a noun, and only you can use the hard R. But, chunky is off the table.
You've been de-adjectified. Adjectivified. There you go. I can talk. I can English.
Yeah, sure you can.
Shut up.
You can English real good.
I can
Just
fly.
not stream.
I'm pilot.
That is why all their figures and puppets, including Thunberg, support Biden. Thunberg has also held up a sign that says, "Let Russia protest climate change," validating the neoliberal, McCarthyist, Russia-phobic narratives driving the Cold War 2.0.
There's no such
Was this
thing.
written
What-
by
what-
Chat
what-
GPT?
Yes.
No. What is the bet that this author now has a Ukraine flag in their bio?
Oh, you know damn well this person does. You know damn well they do.
Like they're right here saying don't be Russian phobic, and then I
Yeah.
bet you 3 years later they've got a Ukraine flag in their bio.
Let me see if this fucker's got a
I'm a-
Twitter profile.
If I'm gonna bet, I'm gonna bet on the sure thing.
Oh, Frosted, are you the one follower this poor bastard's got?
What, on Twitter?
No, on Medium.
Oh, I don't know, possibly.
His bio states only this: I am an American Marxist-Leninist, founder and leader of the Infinity Initiative, political candidate in Shasta County, California, and am proud to be disabled. Dude, your fucking brain is disabled. That might be why you
So-
call that, but damn.
Founder and only member of the Infinity Initiative.
Yes.
So he's downright conservative by Californian standards. Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I've been corrected. X. Stupid fucking. That is so dumb. Just leave it Twitter.
It's still Twitter.
Yes.
I don't care what Elon says. It's still Twitter.
It's still a shithole of scum and villainy and all that kind of shit.
And
I
that's
mean,
why
might
we
as well
like it.
just fucking rename it to Moss Isley.
Now
no,
that
that
you'd
would
be
be gay.
insulting and Moss Isley by the comparison. They've got some standards.
Scum and villainy. I mean, that's all you fucking find on Twitter anymore. At least on
And
my feed.
porn. Don't forget
Oh,
the porn.
sorry.
Let's see. Now, make no mistake, I do not support the modern right-wing Russian government by any means other than fighting U.S. imperialism. I only support the Soviet Union under Stalin and Lenin, especially Stalin. But still,
Oh, God.
it's very telling when your idea of climate justice is to parrot U.S. State Department propaganda.
Oh,
The-
tell me that's not him. Oh my
The
god,
most-
I think that is him.
I do think it's impressive that they're just like out there. Yeah, no. I support Stalin.
Oh, I found another picture of this fucking poor bastard, and he's standing in front of. He's wearing a hammer and sickle shirt. He's standing in front of China, and I believe those are Cuban flags. Oh, and he's got a big old grease stain on his
There
shirt.
was one thing you could have said after he's standing in front of that would have made me happy, and you didn't say firing squad, so I don't care.
Oh, you guys are gonna love this.
The most recent example of Thunberg parroting State Department propaganda is even more
Enjoy.
concerning.
Enjoy. That's our author right there.
There he is.
Fucking communist piece of shit.
Yep.
I'm gonna beat you senseless.
No one
that-
said you had to click on it.
You do
Okay.
realize that beating him senseless means waving a fan in his general direction and saying,
Frosted, is this you?
Nah.
You'll never know.
Frosted, are you this?
Wait,
author?
he's
Is
a
that, is
Poe?
that your
Oh no.
is that your pen name?
Hmm?
Frosted's pen name is Joshua Brown, and he writes on Medium.
Yeah.
I knew reading all these fucking
This
articles
is-
would eventually do this to you.
No,
It's a
Moon?
really
No.
it's a
I'm not
really
bu-
old article. Sorry.
Yes, I know.
I'm not buying it, Moon, because if it was Frosted, he'd have more. He'd have a lot more articles and probably more followers.
Oh yeah, Kid's
but,
right.
but
He does.
also, I think Frosted's real secret identity is the entirety of the Bergen County Cat Congress.
You're
it's
Puma Man, aren't you? You did that.
Puma man.
Puma Man.
Let's see. She just held up a sign that read #Save 12 Hong Kong Youths. She backs the fascist rioters in Hong Kong and works with Joshua Wong. This is definite proof that Thunberg is not a climate activist, because the Socialist People's Republic of China is an environmentally friendly state. Chinese
What?
president... Yeah, it's an environmentally friendly state.
What? It's
Says right-
like the least environmentally friendly state
No,
On
no,
the
it says right there in the article.
Yeah, see?
on the planet. I don't even know which is worse, India or China. They're
Well,
both
neither.
notoriously the worst ones.
The
No,
only...
Yeah,
no.
they're
The-
competing for #1 on the worst place list, and it's a photo finish.
The only thing they're friendlier to than the environment is the Uyghur population.
Exactly.
Chinese President Xi Jinping has invested in a hell of a lot of green renewable energy and
Oh,
just committed to a
bullshit.
global
Oh,
green revolution
oh,
and carbon
God.
neutrality.
What,
Go take a look at
what
Shanghai,
kind
fucker.
of fucking retard acts like this?
Yeah,
This
go-
is fucking stupid.
Go
This
take a
is
look
like,
at the air quality in some of these bigger cities in China and tell me that that's green.
you know what? I would say that the author is even stupider for saying that. But you know what? This is something that a lot of people think, that if you sign on the dotted line, that somehow means that you're some sort of saint. Like with the climate accords, the Paris climate accords, everyone's like, "Oh, we signed a piece of paper, and that means that we're good." And then Donald Trump took back the piece of it. No, it's bad. It's bad because we didn't sign the piece of paper that is totally and utterly meaningless.
Yeah, and what is one place that good old Greta did not go? China.
China.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
China.
well,
Or
I like
India.
those.
for that matter.
The only reason why China would sign on to those accords is they're excluded from it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they only sign if they intend to break it. Honestly,
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason why China and India are not part of these accords, because those two are the biggest polluters in the world, and they do it with reckless abandon.
Any
Actually,
legit...
I wouldn't be surprised if China signed the Paris Accords because they were specifically excluded from the enforcement, from the obligations. They're like, yeah, this doesn't apply to China.
Mm.
Any legitimate environmental activist would support the Chinese Communist Party. But Thunberg is working with fascist rioters and the least environmentally friendly state on the planet, the United States, to overthrow the
Wait.
CCP.
Oh,
Wait, I got it.
ew.
I got it. I know why they're saying China is the best for the environment. It's because China does the most to kill off the human population from the planet.
Yeah, there will be no environment if China keeps
Well,
going.
I mean, I forget who coined it, but you are the carbon they want to reduce is like pretty
yeah,
true.
yeah.
Yeah.
Population reduction, or no, it's carbon reduction. See,
Yeah.
we want to reduce our carbon footprint by eliminating all but the 1% of carbon-based life forms.
Wait, is that why they're doing Pepsi with nitrous in it instead?
Could be.
Now, speaking of
See what
Thunberg,
nitrous in it? This I gotta check out.
Mhm.
I tried it. It's all right. It's nothing special. Now, speaking of Thunberg herself, I feel this brings up an interesting point. You might agree with everything I've said to this point. but still feel as though Thunberg is some victim who doesn't know what she is doing and is simply being used by adults and needs to learn more.
This
This is
guy
an
seems to have a weirdly creepy crush on this Greta Thunberg chick. You know,
I shouldn't be up here.
No, you shouldn't, bitch. You should be like in school. But still, that's beside the point. But this guy is like, he's like, oh my God, Greta Thunberg. Oh, I want that ass. It's so, oh, let me get right behind. Mwah, mwah. Oh, look, you pooed a little. Mwah, 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 mwah. This guy is a fucking weirdo.
Moonshock.
Shut up.
right.
He's not interested in Greta anymore. She aged out.
Oh,
yeah,
good
no,
point.
that's true.
Moon is
I
no
know.
longer allowed to link videos in chat.
Yeah,
What?
I guess Rocket doesn't like Johnny Bravo.
Who doesn't?
I'm just worried you're gonna put scat porn in there.
Oh no! That was an accident. That link that I put on was for Tyr when he first he referenced him. So I found him a link to a
Wait,
Johnny Bravo video.
You actually linked to scat porn?
Fuck no.
No, he keeps that on his local hard drive.
No, sorry, but my hard drive is completely clean.
Yep.
So you're
Just,
saying that Moonshock
just
is
like we have
German?
Hate Camel on this week.
Yes.
I was
No,
noting.
Oh, I
that-
believe his hard drive is clean. He washes it with soap and water every week.
Yeah.
I was noting in chat earlier that technically Hate Camel is acting as 4 people right now.
Mhm.
Well, obviously Jack Cochran is
Yep.
one of Hate Camels.
And
There
then
are so many people that are other people in this community.
Yeah,
Mr.
and
Adam
then you
is
have
Mr. Adam is a quiz. Yeah.
quiz. Yeah, Johnny and Will are the same person,
yeah,
and now Will and Camel are the same person,
which means that Will is technically 4 people.
and is Jack Cochran. Yeah,
And Jack Cochran
Yeah,
is
you-
Monkey, right?
We
7
gotta
degrees
go
of
to the
separation from Will.
we gotta go to the Charlie evidence board.
we're quickly approaching the singularity where Will is literally everybody. Everybody is Will, and Will is one person.
yeah.
Let's see. This is an incorrect take. Adults are definitely exploiting her popularity and using her, but she's the same as all of them. She knows exactly what she's doing. She will still be supporting capitalism, imperialism, and fascist CIA operatives rioting in Hong Kong in 10 years. Yeah, all the rioters in Hong Kong, those are CIA operatives.
Naturally.
Yeah.
This
It's-
person isn't. This person is quickly approaching like the line between stupid and just flat out insane.
Yeah, that's right. Will is also Enrico Palazzo.
Hey, it's Enrico Palazzo!
Who was in Enrico Palazzo?
The author has
Naked
not
Gun.
learned about the hazards of adjective poisoning.
Naked Gun reference.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
when he's disguised as the umpire.
Umpire. Yeah.
Uh,
He's the same guy. Drebin posed as the guy that sang the national anthem, and then he posed as the umpire.
It doesn't have to do with her age or happening to be diagnosed with Asperger's. Thunberg thinks for herself and for all matters relevant to her political statements and actions, and is no different than any other anti-communist figure. Thunberg occupies a rather comfy position in capitalism. She was born in a middle-class, wealthy, and bourgeoisie background, and there's a well-trodden path from student activism to bourgeoisie commentator,
I
writing
wouldn't call
liberal
her.
commentary.
I wouldn't call her born in a middle class. Not a chance. She was born in the upper crust.
Yeah, her family is like what, top 1-2%.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't they say? Oh yeah, she was born in a middle class, wealthy, and bourgeois. Okay, I thought they might have meant that Sweden was like a middle class country or something. but- No. She's very rich. Her family.
Yeah.
is exceedingly
No, her
rich.
family is like top 0.5% for the country. So I mean,
Yeah, easy.
Oh yeah, I mean she's the mouthpiece of her parents, basically. They're just using her
Oh, for sure.
her mental issue as their way of getting their message through.
well, I
Because
mean,
she's even
her
laughed
parents are
about it.
skilled ventriloquists.
Well, I mean, if you've seen her try to, unless she has something to read, if you actually see people asking her direct questions on what she's talked about in the past, she just freezes up. She has no idea what to say.
Yeah, and then she blames it on the Asperger's and says, "Oh, I
Yes.
don't know, you're just not good at speaking in public."
Bullshit. Is that why you did such a passionate plea when you're reading out that stupid
Yeah.
"How dare you" speech?
How dare you?
Mm-hmm.
As I myself am a 16-year-old on the autism spectrum,
Well, that explains so much.
Yep. There you go.
this
So he
this
likes the
false
older
You're
women.
back in school.
Yeah, there you go.
I'm sorry, but autism and retardation are not the same thing.
No, but 16-year-old and retardation are the same thing.
Except in this case, it's a multiplier.
Yeah, this
Yeah.
guy is obsessed with this woman.
this false prophet promoting anti-communist, capitalist, imperialist propaganda angers me. As socialists, we must fight against identity politics and its rejection of class which seeks to divide us. And we must continue to
Although- Sorry, it just clicked. The 16-year-old. You realize this person is just regurgitating what their
Teacher.
social studies and English teachers say.
Mm-hmm.
and what they read on Reddit.
That's
Well, I mean, that's what the teachers are reading to them these days.
yeah, basically.
And we must continue
This
to
is my Reddit post about the current political climate of the world, and this is my Reddit post about the environment, and this
Did
is my
you know-
Reddit post about the economy. And
Did you know Elon Musk could end world hunger?
This is just like $6 million or whatever they said.
Yeah. And we must continue to organize together, fighting together as a class for our class. No climate activist is legitimate if they're not anti-capitalist. If anyone actually is interested in environmental activism, check out renewable energy and public ownership of the natural resources in socialist countries like pollution-free DPRK.
Oh,
Chi-
hell no. Mm-mm.
China's
wait,
global...
wait.
Yeah. We should all aspire to be like the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
You know, I tell you one thing. I am
No, thank you. I prefer to eat and not get.
against
shot for
recreational drugs, but I want some of what this dude's got or what he's taking. Because oh my
Look.
god, this guy is so disillusioned. He might as well be taking fucking hallucinogens until the day he dies.
Everything
No, I think
that
we should be nice to the kid. Buy him a ticket to China or North Korea one way, and just he can live in the communist utopia that he so desires.
Oh yeah, and he'll see just how wonderful and utopian it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if he
E-
wants
every-
out, then tough shit.
everything he's heard from the North Korean government makes it sound great.
Yeah, I wonder why, because everything they put out there is propaganda. It's amazing.
I
Would a government
sometimes
lie, man?
Absolutely not. Sorry.
I sometimes have to wonder if these people know that what's coming from the other government is a total and absolute fabrication. They have to know. They have to just be lying. They can't be that stupid to be like, oh, North Korea says it's great over there, so it must be great.
This kid is not smart enough or self-aware enough or critically thinking enough to actually realize that
Yeah.
everything he's hearing from his teachers and from North Korea is propaganda.
Well, the
Yeah,
thing is, if
but-
he actually sat down and watched some of the shit that they show to their people about what life is like in America, they say like we eat tin cans and we're living in like shelters made out of tarps. I mean, they show them old videos of shit that happened in the Soviet Union back in the 50s, where these soldiers are very destitute. It's like, this is how Americans live. You don't want to live there. It's a shithole.
I'm just picturing how North Korea is depicted in Team America, where all the buildings are made of Chinese food containers.
Oh, just remember, he's Shoronri.
Like pollution-free DPRK, China's global green revolution, and development of renewable energy, renewable cars in Cuba and Venezuela, etc.
Wow, is this guy actually? Did he really just praise Venezuela?
Hey, eating zoo animals lowers the carbon footprint.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and
less animal
destroying
means
your
less animal fart.
country's oil production economy is better for the planet. And the only reason DPRK is possibly less polluting than China is because it is so much smaller and has
I mean,
almost no
Uh,
people by comparison.
Yeah.
I-
Also like going by like pictures from space of Korea at night, like South Korea is all like lit up and everything, you know,
Mhm.
like a modern day city.
Yeah,
And meanwhile,
And
there's
then
like
there's
barely
there's
any
one
lights in
light
North Korea.
Well, there's
Yeah.
a
You see,
big
I
dark
think North
spot.
Korea probably has as many like coal power plants or carbon fueled power plants as South Korea and the rest of Asia. They're just less competent about getting it to anybody.
There are
So-
let me put it this way: the electrical grid in North Korea is so terrible that they have brownouts regularly. These
I don't
people
know
are
if it's,
always losing
I
their
don't
power.
know if
left
it's
and right.
true, but I heard that there is exactly one Steam account belonging to a person in North Korea, and it's presumably Kim Jong Un.
Of
well,
course,
Terry, you know it's true. Everything I do, I
it
do for you.
Well, I appreciate it, Jack.
Okay, how you doing, Brian?
Everything I
Evolved
do, I do for
potato
you.
that they don't
If you're
do it.
looking for
They
a
don't use
war,
it in their
here's World
housing
War
though,
II.
just in their food and air purifiers.
Yeah, so they probably have a low carbon footprint, but that's because they're like working by candlelight.
Yeah.
Yes, Ebony. This entire thing is about climate change, where this guy seems to want to suck on the frickin' twig and giggle berries of all these leaders in the communist countries.
I mean,
Candlelight, who in Korea can afford a candle?
Here's the thing. I love America. I love capitalism. I'm willing to acknowledge that there are issues, and there are significant issues too. That's really the litmus test. If someone is consistent, because no system is perfect. They all have tremendous issues, and you have to be aware to acknowledge them. This person is not willing to acknowledge the issues. They are totally and utterly blind to them. It's
The leading cause of
Oh.
death in
Oh,
socialist countries is
that-
starvation.
Jack, what did you do?
Cops are coming for Terry.
that's how you know that this person is thoroughly indoctrinated, because they're afraid to say anything that's against the doctrine, more or less.
Hey,
I
if you can't...
like free speech, but I can admit one of the drawbacks is articles like this existing.
No, this is one of the pluses.
Yeah.
If you can't trust an autistic 16-year-old who says North Korea is a paradise, who can you trust?
Yeah, I wonder how he would take to be forced to listen to their radios that are not allowed to turn off. And if they do turn them off, they get arrested.
Why arrest them when they can just shoot them in the house?
Oh,
I mean-
because they need those labor camps where they put in you
Oh,
generational punishment.
that's right. Gotta have that free labor from the prisons.
That's right.
Mhm.
That's right.
Use truly sustainable energy and seize ownership of the oil and coal companies to stop fossil fuel pollution. You could also defend indigenous sovereignty. Nobody developed on Turtle Island's beautiful environment. Ultimately, only the socialist reorganization of society can assure the future of the people and the planet.
Well, I just had a thought. You know, in Timberborn, where you have those beavers that are running in the wheel,
Mhm.
the hamster wheel. Make a giant hamster wheel for a person and let them run in those things for a while and power up their cities. There's your green energy right there. There's your renewables, because people are renewable. So just get a giant fucking grid of human hamster wheels and let them
But
go
then,
at it.
but you realize you'd be turning the entire power system in Korea to just a rice burning power structure. Then
I see what you did there. But yes.
Well, while we're on the subject, green capitalist market-based solutions like the Democrats' Green New Deal or cap and trade, or the Republicans' call for all of the above, or lying about climate change being a hoax, or international agreements like the Paris Accords or Kyoto that wouldn't go far enough even if every country signed on, or private profit generated from wind turbines and solar energy, or the U.S.'s nuclear energy, or various efforts to blame climate change on workers by telling us to recycle or throw stuff in the garbage,
Fucking
all of
run on
which
much?
all of which
Jesus.
will either be burned, dumped underground, dumped into the ocean, or turned into sustainable products,
How many
or the
oars is this guy?
or the eco-fascist myth of overpopulation, which tells humans we have to die to save the planet, while 100 companies contribute to 80% of global warming.
Oh, okay. No,
But-
here's the challenge. Here's the next challenge. Reread that entire fucking sentence in one breath.
Wait, that sentence had no object.
The
He
okay,
just said, while we're on the subject, listed a bunch of things. Period.
fragment.
So you're telling
No,
me he
I am
he
the
had like
master of the complex sentence structure. And I looked at that and he was like, "What are you smoking?"
So
He had
that
like a-
I have one
basically
thing that I
he managed to create both a run-on sentence and a fragment at the same time.
yeah,
Yeah,
he had a
sounds like all the
half-page
grammar
long
police.
sentence that wasn't even a complete sentence.
That's actually impressive. I'm actually impressed.
This
It-
guy is
but-
triggering my grammar Nazi something fierce with it.
but this complex mess, whatever you want to call it, because it's not a sentence,
That's a
did bring
jumble
to
of
mind
words.
one very important thing. The leading, if not sole cause of man-made climate change is climate activists making it up.
Just stop
Yeah.
oil, Will. Oh my god.
Yeah, my uncle always used to call them watermelons. Green on the outside, red on the inside.
I've heard that one before.
That is fair. I like it. I'm gonna have to borrow that one.
Yeah, what kind of dressing is this guy gonna put on that word salad?
Russian.
None
Wow.
of this is going to bring sustainable life.
Are we done yet?
yeah.
Author, your plan for life is not sustainable.
Ugh.
Oh yeah,
God.
look at this hunk of masculinity in
Oh,
front of the North Korean flag.
So sexy.
Okay,
There's a match made in
competition-
heaven.
The author's given us a very serious competition here. It's him versus Greta, and well, we've got like a best of three, competition. Who's ugliest? Who's dumbest? Who is least eloquent?
I gotta say, guys, I'm really surprised. I didn't know that North Korea was a gender.
Yeah. Like
Today on Power No Gender Edition.
if The Office was an action movie, this guy would be Jim's stunt double. I have a book
If The Office
recommendation.
was the action movie, this guy would be the dumpster.
Oh Christ, this article isn't over
On
yet.
fire.
Almost. Don't worry, there's only one more sentence to go. How long could it be?
Oh my God.
I have a book recommendation that debunks this capitalist, imperialist reimagining of climate justice. It's by a comrade in the Party for Socialism and Liberation. It's called Climate Solutions Beyond Capitalism by Tina Landis.
Oh my
And
God.
there's only one copy been sold so far, and I bought it.
And she'll be the focus of his next obsessed article.
So, follow. Okay.
Okay, the fact that he tagged Greta Thunberg. Oh my God.
This
You are
article.
his
Oh, I
only
would love
follower.
to see
I
this
knew
guy
it.
and Greta debate.
You
I-
are his only follower.
I'm following him on Medium, not on Twitter.
No.
and,
I was talking about he only has one follower on Medium, and you
We
are
had zero,
it.
but Frosted
No,
just clicked it.
I just followed him.
That's weird because it said one follower when I clicked on his profile.
Also,
right,
the,
first-
He's got one now. He's got one now, but he had zero. He had zero before.
Oh,
also
okay,
this
let me look
article
this
is
guy up.
3 years old, and I am his first follower.
Yes.
All right, let me look him up again. See how many followers he's got. About. Oh, it still says one follow. Oh, one follower and one following. Oh, so he's following somebody. You are his very first follower. Oh, Frosted.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's a unique distinction you hold now.
All right. So, with the end of the first article comes the first game.
Best game.
And that, of course, is Sad Lib's Double Prompt Edition, where I take 4 headlines from Medium, take out 2 words, and you guys have to fill in those words Mad Lib style, and then the chat will vote on which is best. So, Jack, I need a transitive verb.
Punching. Is that correct?
I mean,
Mhm. Well, I
punch
think
is
it'd just be
fine.
punch, wouldn't it?
Punch is fine. Okay, I'll take
All right.
that.
Moon, I need a
There's
verb.
punch. Do I get pie?
Parasitize.
Mhm.
This just in, Moonshock lost.
Yeah.
Parasitize.
I lost by saying parasitize? Oh.
Yeah, it's too wordy. It's not funny.
That is true.
Okay, fine.
No,
Fuck.
no, no.
There you go.
Well, I don't understand how people haven't caught on to this. If you use a word that people don't know what it means, you lose.
Who does not know what parasitize means? He switched it to fuck.
Well, you said fuck.
Okay, fine.
All right,
Yeah,
Terry,
moon is a verb. See?
Terry, I need a male person.
Michelle Obama.
I knew it. I knew you were going to say that.
All right, Camel, I need a verb ending in ing.
Crying, which is what I'm doing now.
Crying?
Yes.
That's Michael Obama. Thank you very much.
Michael
Big Mike.
Robinson. All right,
Excuse
let's
me.
see.
He prefers to go by Mike.
So, Moon, give
Big
me an
Mike.
adjective.
Black with a capital B.
Okay, Terry, give me a person.
Just to traumatize people, Greta Thunberg.
Oh.
So we have punch black, fuck Greta Thunberg.
Exactly.
This can only go well.
All right, Camel, past tense transitive verb.
Ow.
Let's go with drank.
Michelle Obama drank. Gee, I don't want to know what she drank.
We'll find out.
Are we slowly turning into like black people talking at a movie screen?
Slowly.
Well, drank, if you're using it from that kind of a terminology, would be a noun.
Yeah, that's. Maybe I need to change it because is that a verb? Is that a noun?
Yeah.
So who gets the liquid?
All right, let's see. Jack, I need a liquid.
Oh,
I gotta go for it. Come.
I knew he was going to do that.
Well,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
course I was.
was
It's
expecting-
obvious. Crying and then come.
I was
That's
expecting
scram
peanut butter.
to you.
No, I mean, just like Jack knew I would pick Michelle Obama, I knew he was going to pick cum. It was like, it's just obvious.
Jack and cum go hand in hand. Oh, see what I did there?
All right, so Jack's is
Oh dear.
how to punch a black man in a gay bar.
Yes.
Nice. Oh, that's perfect.
I think the polls can close now.
All right. Oh, Sun likes it. All right, let's see. Moon's is I turned my life around thanks to Allah, learning to fuck, and Greta Thunberg.
Aw, I didn't win.
All right, let's see. Terry's Michelle Obama drank his ex-wife and live streamed it on Instagram.
Oh, God.
Nah.
All right, and Camel's is crying with my queer spirit in the cum-soaked summer days of Texas.
Nope, Jack wins, hands down. Final answer.
All right, so
Yeah,
that's
none of them kept up with that.
so
I
I'll
can't
start
believe
a
he
poll
rigged this game too.
in the chat so they can vote on which is best.
Nope, it's already a given. See,
That
even the dog
filthy
agrees.
rigger.
Yeah, Jack, you rigged it again. Now,
I-
see, I'll have to take 50% of it because I was the one that gave the black.
Even the dog is upset that Jack rigged this game.
I like how you put quote unquote camel. Oh, see, apparently crying cum is another another option.
Mm.
See, I got 0 because nobody likes
Yeah,
Allah and fucking.
the odds are pretty good, Ebony. The odds are pretty good.
True.
Well, Moon, yours put sex and Greta in the same sentence.
Well, yeah, I mean, you
And-
didn't even need the white print. just fuck Greta Thunberg. There you go. Not like that last author. What he wanted to do.
No, I told you he's aged out for him.
And we have 25 viewers, but only 18 likes.
Oh, you people.
So get on the ball, chat. Think Camel's gonna come back if we get this few likes?
What is Camel our collective father now?
He is banned. He has a 30-day ban on George.
I mean, if anyone's gonna go out for cigarettes,
For
wouldn't it be
cigarettes,
Camel?
it's Camel.
It was those blankets, wasn't it?
I think that we've been hanging around each other too much, Frost, and I'm starting to think the same thing as you.
All right, so I think I can end the poll there, given Jack has 79% of the vote, and second place is at
Yay.
16%.
Rigged.
Wait, so now I'm Joe Biden?
No, see, I go from a great winning streak to nothing. Fucking I talk about your polar opposites.
And prove it, Tier.
No, I'm pretty sure with Moon we're dealing with bipolar opposites.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Moonshock, I do have good news for you. Your first answer would have played equally as well as this one.
What?
No,
Oh yeah,
no,
parasitize. Yeah, that would have been just as bad. Or even worse,
Well-
really.
I mean, fuck was better than parasitize.
Yeah.
Well, I was just.
But it
thinking-
would have played equally as well, by which I mean not at all.
Well, it's not
Yeah,
like I
yeah.
see these things beforehand. Fuck.
I
See?
mean-
like that.
All right. So now on to our second article. The Trump defendants' mugshots are alarmingly remorseless.
Yeah.
Well, if you do absolutely nothing
What the-
illegal,
Oh, come on.
why should your mugshots be full of remorse?
Well, it's because they want everyone to bow down to them. It can't be enough that they get their way. They can't have martyrs.
Well,
But check out the name of this author. That is a
Oceana
mouthful.
Tepfenhart.
Oceana Teppenfart.
What the fuck? Inspect that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Trump
Oh
was
God.
Trump was crying, but did you see some of the other mugshots out there?
Let me see.
What does that mean? Trump was crying.
I didn't see any mugshots of him crying.
Oh, I guess we'll find out in the article.
Yep. You know, when I saw Trump's mugshot, I genuinely felt happy. I felt like justice was kinda done. Trump being booked at one of the most dangerous jails in Georgia, one famous for having an inmate eaten alive by bedbugs, seemed very apropos. Fulton
nothing.
County Jail is rough, and while Trump does show signs of dementia, he's not so far gone that he doesn't realize that this is a bad time for him. I mean, not for nothing, but jail is rough for everyone.
So, out of all the politicians, Trump is the one they think has dementia.
But, I mean, yeah, obviously, yeah.
Okay. I will give you guys.
I would have liked to see if Biden were in that position and they had to have the Easter Bunny go in the jail with him.
Let me put it this
That
way:
would've been hilarious.
this woman loves the color pink.
And that's our tip and fart.
This author isn't smoking anything, Tier. she's just in the same room as the last author who's got a bad contact eye.
Yeah, she's got coke nails.
And she's got this fascination or obsession with pink hair. What alternate planet is this person from? I don't know, but
he's 70-ish years old, so he's looking down the barrel of a proverbial gun with a jail sentence. To a point, I don't blame him for crying. I am more or less just blaming him for trying to overthrow democracy. But I digress.
Vivian is apparently coming out as a lesbian. She thinks the author is cute.
I mean, maybe if she didn't do the pink hair and coke nails and dress like that. Yeah.
Oh, well, there's another picture of her in a plaid outfit holding up a plaid purse that looks just like her. Here, I'll even link that one for you guys.
So her notion of coordination is everything is the same.
Here you go. Here is another picture of her with her bag in her hand that she's trying to match her outfit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, she goes, ew.
That is very good camouflage. You'll never see her.
She blends in.
She looks like the MILF after the porno was shot.
Well, ironically, it's funny you should say that because the picture or the article that picture's from says, "So, what's it like dating a porn star, Oceana?" by Oceana.
Yeah.
But I digress. I trolled the Twitter sphere to see the mugshots, and they were very telling. Look at those eyes. Those are some bloodshot eyes. Either he's run out of eye drops and the jail air's a bit dry, or he's been crying. I'm willing to bet he has been crying.
What's that? You want another picture? Okay, here's another picture just for you guys. Enjoy.
Like she does realize that shadows exist, right? That might make the whites of his eyes look darker.
This is just Trump derangement syndrome part 2, isn't it? Mm-hmm. That's all it. During his first presidency, they scrutinized everything he did to death, and they took these bizarre interpretations of everything he said that don't even make any logical sense at all, and they just ran with it constantly, nonstop. That's what this article is. It's just a continuation of that.
No, I mean, I'm pretty sure.
There's another picture over in chat.
I'm pretty sure that she's still on part 1 of her Trump derangement syndrome.
And I agree with Cynic. It does kind of look like she's cosplaying as Clementine Ford.
I don't know
Clementine
who that is.
Ford.
That is an Australian feminist. She had a run in.
She fat?
No, not fat. Just ugly.
See for yourself, Jack. See for yourself.
Fine, I'll look.
She had a run in with Daisy Cousins, and that's basically how I discovered Daisy Cousins even existed.
She looks too young to have been smoking for 50 years.
Yeah.
She looks like she's half a midget. Like, not full midget, just half a midget.
Oh, God. That one's scary as fuck. Here's another one.
And the worst half.
This latest one that I put in there, if when you open that one up, oh, my God, that look she's giving you is like, ah!
That's the point of view of when you wake up tied to a bed.
Is this a man?
At this point,
I'm serious. Is this a man? I'm seriously asking.
Are women on the left like incapable of not dyeing their hair? Either way, if looks could kill, the photographer of that shot would be dead. That is a scowl and a half. It's almost like he doesn't like being around.
Are we talking about the mugshot or that picture Moonshock just shared?
Yeah.
According to the Ross...
the difference is the person who took the pictures of her did die taking them.
According to the Raw story post cited in the tweet above, the former president was hoping to intimidate enemies. So, despite crying, he wanted people to be afraid. That doesn't sound remorseful, but that was to be expected. Trump never really showed remorse for anything he did. Perhaps his others would be
because he
different.
didn't do anything wrong. I mean, he did some things wrong, but not the things that you accuse him of.
Yeah, it's almost like when people don't think they've done anything wrong, they don't feel remorseful.
Oh,
Yeah.
she is a fan of Chris Chan.
Only
And-
after she heard about what he did with his mom.
Oh, this
It is-
article is 2 days old, and it's like I sometimes think about Chris Chan and the future of influencers.
It's almost as though leftism is a mental disorder.
It really is, and I mean that's in all seriousness. Yeah, it really does
It's-
seem that. And it's scary as fuck too. It really is.
It's creepy. It's disturbing because I don't see this sort of behavior from the right. Usually if I see like stupid behavior from the right, it's something along the lines of people getting too uppity about the religious bullshit. And I find that irritating. But what I see coming from the left is just downright disturbing. Like it hits you at your core, kind of disturbing. Like
yeah,
the
they
depth
act like
of human depravity disturbing.
they act like psychopaths. It's like if I don't get my way, I'm gonna I'm just gonna go off and just get homicidal.
Well, they act like narcissists, is what they act like.
That is very true.
This co-defendant is smiling at the camera like the Joker.
Oh,
Wait, what?
Well, we've
Pull
seen the
back up.
pictures, so yes, we know.
Oh, okay. Hmm.
Well, I don't think
No, I can do a
remorse.
better Joker smile than that.
Well, I don't think remorse is in her personal dictionary. If anything, she looks like she is plotting something even more sinister.
What
Perhaps
does
she-
this have to do with anything?
It's incredibly important, Jack.
Hey,
They
you
need-
know, if you're going to be getting a mugshot photo, have fun with it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what Trump did.
like
And
they should
he's
have
already
all
made.
they should have all agreed to have like huge grins and like finger gun the camera.
Well, and Trump's mugshot is now public domain, so people are making bank off of merchandise with that mugshot on it.
Yes.
You know what they should do next is get all the people who had their mugshots taken and recreate the album cover of Band on the Run.
Yeah.
Well,
That'd
now
be
that I'm
fr-
done linking pictures, I'll be right back.
That'd be freaking awesome.
Oh, how about the cover of Some Girls by the Rolling Stones? They do like the Andy Warhol thing.
I don't know that one. I think the Rolling Stones are kind of overrated.
I don't know. I don't hear nearly enough. I don't hear nearly as much about them as some bands. They are well known. Don't get me wrong, but
I don't mind the Stones. Some of their songs are pretty good.
Let's see. Perhaps she doesn't realize how much of a quagmire of shit she's in. Either
Sure.
way, she doesn't seem the least bit disappointed with herself. If anything, her reaction to the mugshot makes me feel like she really would have carried through with her threats.
Perhaps she's not worried about being indicted for doing something that is absolutely not illegal.
Nah.
On the notion that you actually have to prove a crime to a jury beyond a reasonable doubt.
Perhaps his former lawyers will show remorse or guilt?
Why?
Well, they should because of violation of a current attorney-client. Well, some of them should because of violation of attorney-client privilege and stuff like that.
Also, what the hell does the caption on this tweet mean? Oops.
Why would he
Well, one is a
need
drag queen.
specifically a lawyer that's a drag queen? Does being a drag queen make them especially good lawyers?
Like, are they saying that they look like drag queens, or I don't know. The left can't meme. Man, that's a lot of smiling faces. Jenna doesn't seem to realize how screwed she is. Rudy sure as hell does. The rest of them? Well, it's hard for me to figure out what they're thinking. Their eyes are too soulless for that.
Of course,
This
they're
guy-
soulless. They're lawyers.
This guy kind of looks remorseful or embarrassed.
if nothing else, are you really expecting remorse? I mean, why would you expect remorse from these people in particular? there's no politician alive who feels remorse.
That
The-
that picture there doesn't look remorseful. That looks like Irish Catholic.
Mm,
I mean, Bud Dwyer showed remorse.
that's true.
I don't know Bud Dwyer.
He shot himself.
Oh, bless you, Father, for you have sinned. I can't be the only one who finds it somewhat shocking that a man of the cloth is the only one to have any semblance of remorse for his attempt at overthrowing democracy.
He doesn't feel
Only we
remorse.
lived in a
He's-
democracy.
He's sad he's in jail.
I said
That's-
that looks like Irish Catholic, which means drunk or halfway there, and maybe a few other issues. Remorse is probably not in that.
He's Irish Catholic. He feels remorse for pretty much the weight of all of Earth's ills, but that doesn't mean he feels remorse for what he did.
Mhm.
He's right now. He's probably most remorseful about being sober.
Yeah.
People on the right are already using the mugshots as a sign of rebellion.
As they
Yeah.
should.
Well, yeah.
That's the point.
The guy up above is not in Fulton County. In fact, he wasn't even charged in the election crimes alongside Trump. He is just a politician riding his coattails to the voting booth. GOP politicians are starting to use Fulton County-style mugshots as a way to market their loyalty to Trump to their voters. They are not just trying to say they disagree with the ruling. They're condoning the election intimidation. For a
What
party that
ruling?
claims...
You have a grand jury indictment based on the fact that the prosecutor can present to the grand jury any and all evidence that they want, and only the evidence that they want, which means they can make up any story they want to. They don't have to provide any potentially exculpatory evidence or anything like that. A competent prosecutor can get a grand jury indictment on a person they know is innocent because the actual crime was caught on video and the person they're charging was in another country at the time. This proves nothing.
I'm pretty sure this means they're all guilty now. That's okay. For a party that claims it's the party of law and order, they are really showing how little respect for the law they have. If there was ever a moment that should illustrate how little they care about the law, when the law isn't in their favor, this should be it. Make no
Hey,
mistake.
you ugly idiot. Ever heard of due process?
What's that?
That doesn't exist if you're on the right or a man.
Yeah, exactly.
Make no mistake about it. The GOP has shown they don't like democracy.
Nor should they. Democracy's fucking terrible.
No, we absolutely hate democracy. The founding fathers loathed and feared democracy, and rightly so, because democracy leads to the governmental systems that have caused the most deaths of their own citizens. Democracy, you're on a pathway to one of two things. You got your oligarchy, you got your anarchy, which leads to your oligarchy. There's no middle ground. You're going to end up with a communist society.
And I like this part where it's saying that Trump's pose is a Kubrick stare.
Yeah.
The Kubrick stare is one of director Stanley Kubrick's most recognizable directorial techniques. A method of shot composition where a character stares at the camera with a forward tilt to convey to the audience that they are at the peak of their derangement. You know what is kind of a requirement in mugshots? Is looking at the camera.
Yeah.
So basically, anytime you look angry in a mugshot, it's a Kubrick stare.
Mhm.
We could talk about the Kubrick stares, or we could talk about how they tried to pull a Rebel Without a Cause badass series of mugshots. But no matter how you slice it, it's bad news. It's also not badass, it's stupid. The GOP does not feel bad about trying to overthrow a political election. The GOP has not verbally condemned the election tampering they did. In fact, they've been trying to make it harder for people to vote just to stay in power. I personally don't believe that you can vote GOP and be unaware that you're voting for a party that is hell-bent on trying to remove the right to vote. A vote for the GOP means you don't respect the law, and there's now photographic evidence of that. Dear God. Moon didn't even show us this one.
Yeah.
Oh, and that caption. Rawr, it was hot that day.
Oh God.
Wait, is Jack there? Jack?
I guess
I
not.
think you caused the stroke.
Did Jack fall asleep again? Jack.
I'll give you a nice bran muffin.
Jack stepped away for a moment. What's up?
Okay. We thought you fell asleep again because we hadn't heard from you in a
No.
while.
No, I was
but,
busy doing other things.
But the good news is we get another picture of the author.
Yeah.
Why are you singling out me in specific?
Because you're quiet.
Yeah, we hadn't heard from you.
Oh.
All right. So, with the end of the second article comes the second game, which is for the chat only. Jack, now that you're awake.
Yes, I was asleep and not filling up my soda stream.
And that is the caption contest, where I'll give a photo of a political figure event, and the chat has to come up with a caption for it, and whichever one we like best, I'll tweet out after the show. So, this week we've got good old Dylan Mulvaney visiting Emerson College in Boston and being surrounded by adoring female fans. Actual
What the
females,
hell?
I'm guessing.
Frosted, your state. Wait,
yeah,
is it?
Jack, I got worse news. My college. I have a degree. I have a degree from this college.
If it makes you
It
feel
is
better,
You sought a refund?
if it makes you feel better, I remember when there was a video of David Rubin attending UNH, and that was just the most low energy bullshit I ever saw in my life.
Well, I think I'd take Dave Rubin over Dylan Mulvaney.
Yeah.
Well, it wasn't Dave Rubin, it was the low energy hecklers.
I mean, they're both fags, but I mean, Dylan Mulvaney is so much worse.
Let's see. They all brought their strap-ons, and they are gonna run a train on me. OMG, best day ever.
Yeah.
If only I wasn't gay, I would make all of you suck my female penis. One is not the same. Can you guess which one? I'm going to grape all you bitches.
I'm gonna grape you in the mouth.
Yeah. Tie to the radiator and grape you over and over.
This is what happens when you find a stranger in the Alps.
Also attaching locks to hinges right now. Not a very good caption, but
Yeah. I don't know. I like it. That's my favorite so far. What's in my ass? Faithless, try and come up with a caption. Yeah. Does Jack like those boobs?
What boobs?
But I don't know.
the ones in the photo, I guess.
You have to have them for me to appreciate them.
The remake of Alien looks dope.
Let's see. One of these things are not like the others. One of these things ruined a beer company.
Oh god.
The remake of Alien looks dope.
I like that one.
Thank you for my honor doctorate in female studies. Now open your mouth like this to receive my loads.
Well, the angle that this picture captured him on was way wrong because he looks like he's completely cross-eyed with that stupid gaping mouth open of his.
Well, it's from a video. I just took a screenshot.
Oh, you got it just the right time.
Wait, he
your
ever
pause
looks
game
that
is on
cross-eyed?
par.
Oh, who's that cute redhead Dylan is staring at?
Hmm.
Huh?
I don't get what you're getting at.
No, me neither.
Are you talking about me? Are you calling me a cute redhead? That, I mean, good guess.
This is-
but,
Frosted was taken aback because no one's ever called him cute.
let's see. Hey, what's going on, buddy? Canadian accent.
Like I get what he's going for, but
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
yeah, I'm not your buddy friend.
I'm not your friend, pal.
Celebrating the clown show. Now me and Biden are going to find a 6-year-old to share for the night. How old is Greta now again? Want to see what I can fit in there?
I like James. I like James's one. That's like simple but to the point.
Yeah. Brevity is the soul of wit, people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get in,
give it a-
losers. We're sniffing kids.
Give it a few seconds. Oh no, that Bud Light I sat on just bursted.
Hmm.
Ew.
Alright, I think I'll stop it there. So, which one do you guys like best?
Yeah, I'll just go with James. Want to see what I can fit in there.
I'll go with that one too.
I'll let these last two in because they're kind of good. Did someone say Big Mac?
Ah,
Yeah.
And the hamster just came out.
Yeah.
Alien one. I like the alien one the most.
Okay, I'm gonna have to switch to tears because that's actually really good.
yeah. I agree. I'm
Oh yeah, late entry. I agree.
Yeah. Alright, so Jack.
The hamster just came out.
Yeah.
Alright.
That is just fucked up enough.
Moon.
Hamster.
Terry, you went with the hamster.
Yes.
And Camel.
Hamster.
Alright. Well, I think that's unanimous then. Oh, Lammy winks. Lammy winks.
Well, the look too with him, like the gaping mouth. Oh, a hamster just came out.
Yeah. That fits perfectly.
Yeah.
The Big Mac
The
one
hamster
also fits
did
very
that.
well. Did someone say Big Mac?
Now say that would be better. Did someone say McRib?
Alright. So copy that down. Alright. So now on to our third article.
Yay!
Clarence Thomas is wrong about gun control laws.
Oh God.
Okay.
Who is
Mom's
this
demand.
person?
We've had her before. It's Karen White.
Aaron White.
Oh, yes.
Moms Demand Action have discovered that gun control laws were on the books in the 18th and 19th centuries.
Oh yeah, we've definitely seen this woman before. But just for shits and giggles, you guys are gonna see her again. Here you go. This is her.
This isn't a link to Johnny Bravo. What are you putting in chat?
Ugh. It's like if a librarian chose the wrong grail at the end of Indiana Jones.
She chose poorly.
Best Indiana Jones movie, by the way.
Yes, I agree. And then Raiders, and then Temple.
Yeah. Don't you just love it when a man says something incredibly stupid and a woman says, "Are you sure?" with that arched eyebrow and look on her face that every man knows means that he has just stepped into very deep doo-doo.
Oh God, just
Just say shit.
Oh,
You're
exactly.
allowed to swear in
Yeah.
Lady Money.
Or at least say crap. Crap is
Yes.
better than doo-doo.
It's not like their
Yeah.
chat support, right, Will?
Yeah.
Is she like an elementary school teacher or something?
Yeah. No, she sounds like Jar Jar Binks, for Christ's sake.
Yeah.
He's a stepping
No.
deep doodle.
Jar Jar sounded more intelligent.
This is the kind of behavior I expect from someone who thinks that they're a good person, but secretly deep down they're one of the worst people imaginable.
Also,
I figure she punches babies and kicks puppies, so
if a woman did the "Are you sure?" with the arched eyebrow thing, I would think, wow, what a smug bitch.
Yeah.
Case in point, everybody's least favorite Supreme Court Justice, Clarence Thomas, writing the majority.
My favorite.
Yeah.
So you're wrong.
He's not my least favorite. That's a toss up between well, no, it's probably Brown Jackson
Or
with a couple of
Sotomayor.
close seconds.
Sotomayor, yeah.
Sotomayor.
Yeah.
Mrs. doesn't understand the purpose of any of the amendments.
Mhm.
What is the purpose of was it the 9th Amendment she got confused about, or the 10th? I remember
don't
it was one of them.
I
where
don't
she
think
was just-
either of those two understands the meaning of any of the amendments.
Yeah, I think she was basically asking like, what's the purpose of this?
Mm.
You're a Supreme Court justice, you fucking dildo.
I can't identify what a woman is.
Now, I think you could change this if you're dealing with like the justices asking the parties that are arguing before them a question, and you can turn that into a question that does make sense by saying, what does this amendment mean to you, and particularly in regards to this filing before the court? But then you're putting them on notice that you're paying attention to this amendment and thinking that they're out of line with it.
People, I will push back, Moon. People think that Brown Jackson, whatever the fuck, it was being an idiot when she says, "I'm not a biologist." The truth is that she knows very well what a woman is.
Well,
she
of
just
course.
couldn't say it. She couldn't say it because it wouldn't be politically advantageous to do
Yeah,
so.
it would
She's
go
a
against her.
politician. She's not the stupidest person imaginable.
Oh, no.
Sotomayor is the stupidest person imaginable.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know that it was clearly a politically motivated answer that she gave, but she's just all she's doing is she's just sidestepping the question.
Yeah, it's the same thing that every politician does when you ask them a question that they know they can't answer. They give you like the mealy mouth bullshit.
Yeah, it's one of those. Oh, I'll have to circle back with you on that one.
Let's see. Clarence Thomas, writing the majority opinion on New York State Pistol and Rifle Association versus Bruin, which struck down bans on concealed weapons, said that prior to 1900, concealed carry bans were not part of America's history and traditions, and therefore they were unconstitutional. That sounds like a dare to me. And Mom's
When was the
demand.
last time you saw someone try to fucking conceal a musket?
Not exactly what it said, because I've actually read NYSERPA versus Bruin, but it was an excellent ruling, and you're an idiot.
And Moms Demand Action, a gun safety group, took him up on that dare. Members have been spending quality time in the basements of courthouses across the country researching gun laws prior to 1900. Because apparently they've never heard of Google.
But were they researching gun laws between 1791 and 1815?
Guess what they found? That prior to 1900, there were very robust gun control laws across the country, spanning concealed carry, open carry, shooting ranges, even gunpowder kept in the home. That's analogous.
Well, of course, there were very, very robust gun control laws in the 1860s and so forth in the South because of the, we have to keep a certain segment of the population from getting guns now.
And also, special prize to whoever figures out, what happened between what happened in the 19th century that made it so.
I wonder.
That made it so these gun laws exist anymore.
And the other thing is like, does the author, are they trying to point back to things like the Dred Scott decision, which is a very interesting read too, because one of the things that's argued is we can't let this segment of the population become full citizens, because if they are, then all of these rights apply to them and they can have all the guns they want and carry them at will. Is literally in the court argument.
That's analogous to our own restrictions on ammunition. We're talking 18th and 19th century. Instead of worrying about
it isn't. Sorry, but I got
Will is triggered.
The laws on restrictions on ammunition have absolutely no bearing to regulations on gunpowder kept in the house and everything. That's because gunpowder was notoriously unstable, easily flammable, and buildings were made of wood. Improper storage of gunpowder could mean the entire city burns down with lives lost.
Hate fact.
So there is absolutely no analogous comparison between laws regulating storage and amounts of gunpowder in a house versus a secured armory and any kind of modern ammunition regulations.
We all know what the best kind of storage is. That's already been well established.
Well,
Yeah.
And was not the Second Amendment put in place specifically to make sure that we have the ability to combat tyranny? Like the kind of shit that this person is trying to put forth and the kind of shit that the Democrats are trying to do.
The first, it's not the only purpose and reason for the Second Amendment, but the first primary and express reason for the Second Amendment is for the population at large to be armed against the possible incursion of tyranny, including and especially the potential from their own government.
Yes, founding fathers were very wise when they did that.
Hi, Frank. Sorry you got to work long hours at the FBI tonight.
And I'm sorry, I didn't mean the 19th century. I meant the 20th century. No wait. I think of the. No, it is the 19th century. But yeah, that thing would be the
Frosted is having a history stroke, folks.
But yeah, that event would be something called the 14th Amendment, where rights such as the right to bear arms, now instead of just being Congress can make no law, now the states couldn't do it either. So yeah, that might be the reason why, in the early 1800s and 1700s, they had, statewide laws about guns.
No, I think this is all just a massive misunderstanding. The Second Amendment, nothing to do with guns. It just means if you kill a bear, you get to keep its arms.
Yeah.
If that's the case, you might want to board Bering if you plans on visiting the States.
Yeah.
Somebody's going to try.
We're talking 18th and 19th century. Instead of worrying about protecting citizens' rights to bear arms, local governments were more concerned with public safety by keeping guns out of public spaces.
Wrong.
Here's just a sample.
Wrong. You're wrong.
Here's just a sample of their findings. The concealed carry of firearms was expressly forbidden in Memphis, Tennessee, Jersey City, Hoboken, and Plainfield, New Jersey, Chicago, Illinois, New Orleans, Louisiana, Olympia, yada, yada, yada. More than 50 local governments outlawed the firing of any weapon within city limits. About 30 localities...
A law that did not apply to situations of self-defense.
About 30 localities restricted or outlawed the storage of gunpowder. A dozen localities limited, heavily taxed, or banned shooting ranges. This ongoing research effort is important, not just because it proves a pompous ass wrong, but you're saying ass, but you had said doo-doo earlier.
You
But it
notice
takes-
that she didn't indicate when these laws actually were, and the Supreme Court actually reviewed all of those laws, every single one of them, and said these are insufficient against the power, the weight, and the language of the Second Amendment. You think maybe they considered that?
I don't
Yeah,
know
they didn't
what
want
you're
people shooting in the air because even back then they knew the bullets would come back down.
No, the only reason that the Supreme Court let those laws get away is because some scrub on Medium didn't correct them on it.
Yeah. And
Medium dictates all American laws, doesn't it? I just thought that was common knowledge.
And also, even without the whole 14th Amendment thing, because there were never any state or local laws that were unconstitutional in history.
And
This-
this reminds me of the ship captain writing to President James Madison about, hey, can I actually have a cannon on my ship to defend it? And he's like, basically, the response is more wordy than it, but basically boils down like, heck yeah, why do you think we wrote the stupid Second Amendment in the first place?
As long as he kept his powder all right,
Yes.
Yeah.
and didn't have a shooting range.
Yeah.
This ongoing research effort is important not just because it proves a pompous ass wrong, but it takes away a very important argument used by the courts to loosen gun restrictions. No longer can they use the excuse that any kind of restriction on the private ownership and carrying of guns is unconstitutional. Regulating guns isn't some newfangled liberal idea designed to take away the constitutional rights of red-blooded Americans.
Yes,
Yeah,
it
no,
is.
it's
Not new, but that's been their intention and purpose from the beginning of such laws. Shall not be infringed is kind of explicit, exact, and unforgiving.
It's not new. That's the whole point. That's why we argue against it, because society has been through this song and dance many times before, and it always ends very poorly.
Guns are
So
the
we-
devil.
So
Get
we
rid of
protect
the
these
notion of-
rights.
And
Yeah.
as the court pointed out, you get rid of the notion of interest balancing in the courts reviewing these laws and everything, because the founders did the interest balancing when they wrote the amendment. If you want to change it, amend the thing. The process is there. Go ahead and try.
Yeah, it's not newfangled. It was tried by the British, which is why we have the Second Amendment now.
Yeah, British tried to take our guns and we shot them.
Yep.
We also shot them over a 2% tax.
Hey,
Based-
imagine what would the founding fathers think of our taxation system today?
Oh God.
Holy
They'd be going,
crap.
tell me more about these modern weapons you've got.
Yeah.
It's been with us literally since the founding of our country. So why are there so many gun laws if the Constitution guarantees Americans the right to bear arms? Because it doesn't. And Thomas and all the other conservative judges who seem bound and determined to arm every man, woman, and child in this country to the teeth know this.
Tell
Well,
me
I
you
actually
have absolutely no understanding of any part of the Constitution without telling me that.
I actually do agree with that sentiment. The Constitution is not a guarantee that the government won't try and take away your firearms. That's why we instill public values such as basically the right to revolt against a corrupt government.
Well, that's why the Constitution lays out two things. It lays out the power of the government and the rights of the people. The government has no rights. But the rights of the people trump any power of the government, which is why
And-
the Bill of Rights is amendments to limit the power of the government laid down in the Constitution.
Well, then look at the position that we're in now. Government seems to have a whole hell of a lot more power than the people do.
Yeah, because no one seems to remember the 10th Amendment anymore.
Nope.
Uh,
No one
Is that
understands the
down-
9th and
is
no one
that-
remembers the 10th.
Now, is the 10th one shall not do the thing with graven images? I can never remember which ones are which.
That's
No,
Well,
that's the one.
that's the second.
the
Uh,
10th states that anything that the government or it establishes states' rights.
It's
Basically,
the
Okay.
10th is a catch-all that basically says anything that isn't given to the federal government in this document is reserved either to the states or the people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if the
So if
Constitution
it's not
doesn't say the federal
explicitly
government
given
can do
to the
this,
federal government, they can't do it.
yeah,
That makes sense.
and then the federal government proceeded to trample all over it for the last 100 years.
Yep.
And they've
Still
gotten
does
the
to this
courts to
day.
support it by arguing, oh, that is under the Commerce Clause, which is being so broadly interpreted that at this point, if your lettuce crosses state lines, the government can regulate how you eat your salad, is what they'd argue.
it's-
And was
See-
it the 14th that abolished slavery? Did you mention that earlier?
that was the 13th.
13th. Okay.
13th abolished slavery, and the 14th, among other things, said that the Constitution, as written, applied to the states in localities. The states could no longer have laws that were a violation of the Constitution if the federal government tried to have them.
Okay. Okay.
Before the 14th, states could have established religions, which the federal government could not. New Jersey had an established religion when the Constitution was passed.
Was it
Yeah.
Pastafarianism? I hope it was Pastafarianism.
No, that was the established religion when the 14th Amendment was passed.
See, all these claims about originalism are just a smokescreen. If you truly want to read and interpret the Constitution exactly as it was written and understood at the time it was written, then you need to look
Trigger
at the
warning, stupid argument coming in.
Yeah, here we go.
then you need to look at the state of the country at the time, not the delusions of modern day conservatives. At the
Okay,
time-
so you have no right to publish this article using the means and methods of publication and spread that you have. I will see you and your Gutenberg press in my backyard.
Yep,
Yeah, I've seen that case made. If you want to argue that the second only applies to the weapons available at the time, then the first doesn't apply to the internet or anything beyond a quill and a piece of paper.
But hell, it wouldn't apply to telegrams.
Yeah.
And I can just see by the first part of the next paragraph, the next part's gonna be equally stupid.
Yeah.
At the time the Constitution was written, the United States did not have a standing army.
Yes,
The
it did. The Continental Army
What?
was a standing army.
I'm surprised that nobody takes like, oh, the army has to be standing, so therefore they're never allowed to sit down ever. Obviously, it's written in the Constitution.
Well, it reminds me.
This author wrote it in and then deleted it, saying that it was too common sense to have to state.
Well, it reminds me of the old Marx Brothers joke. I think we should have a standing army. Why? Because we'll save money on chairs.
Yeah.
See, piss off Shih Tzu, I actually advocate pretty much for completely unrestricted gun laws. Now, add plenty of penalties if you break the law using a gun. I don't care if you want to make the penalty, if you rob a bank using a gun, if you mug somebody using a gun, if you murder somebody using a gun. If you want to make the penalty for that twice as severe as committing those crimes with some other weapon, I'm fine with that. But don't penalize the innocent for the actions of the guilty and stop treading on my rights. One of the purposes of the Second Amendment was that the citizenry was supposed to have exactly the same kind of weapons at their disposal that their government had.
Yeah, when Joe Biden says, "Oh, well, you don't have F-15s," to the American people, the response to that should be, "Well, maybe we should have F-15s."
if you're taking the Second Amendment as written in the context it was written in, the intention of the article of the
I mean,
amendment and the Constitution, any private citizen who can afford a fully militarized F-15 should be able to buy it, bearing in mind that you're still responsible criminally and
I can confirm
civilly
that I
for
don't have an
harms that
F-15.
you do using it.
I can confirm that I don't have an F-15. My keyboard only goes up to F12.
Wah, wah.
Oh.
I left my keyboard with an F-15, an F-14, an F-16, an F-18,
Yeah.
F-22. It's in the office.
Also, World
Yeah,
War
mine
II
only goes
fight.
to 12.
Also, World War II fighters were cooler. That's just a fact. At the time the Constitution was written, the United States did not have a standing army. The country relied on local militias to provide defense. And just like today's militias, members were expected to provide their own guns, ammo, and combat gear.
And
To
you
ins-
just proved the point for the Second Amendment. The militias were not a standing army. They were not a substitute to the standing army. They were a supplement to the standing army and a guard against government tyranny. And the militias had to have their own guns, ammo, and combat gear. You know what that means? We, who are by law defined as part of the militia, should still have our own guns and ammunition and combat gear.
To ensure that these citizen soldiers would be able to show up for militia duty properly armed, the framers wrote it directly into the Constitution in the Second Amendment. A well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state, the right of the people to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed. Going back to
And by trying to interpret that as anything other than the right of the people as individuals to keep and bear arms shall not be infringed, without trying to limit that by the prefatory clause, demonstrates you have no understanding of the English language now or
Yeah,
then.
no. Look, I know nothing about constitutional law, but reading that sentence, it reads to me, because you need a well-regulated militia, the rights of the people will not be infringed. It's not saying only the militia. They're saying we need a militia, and so the rights of the people to bear arms will not be infringed. So
And
it's a blanket.
this is
The citizens have the right to bear arms.
and this is not the only part of the Constitution that has prefatory clauses. It is the only part of the Constitution that they try to argue that the prefatory clause limits the scope and application of the subsequent statement.
Going back to the 18th century and getting into the minds of the framers, what they were thinking was that no laws should be passed banning ownership of weapons needed for militia duty. It's right there in
No,
the
it's
beginning of
not.
the sentence. It
No,
says,
it's not.
no, it's right there in the beginning of the sentence. It says right here, Will. I mean, Camel. Sorry. I get you two confused.
Get it right, Frosted.
A
It doesn't
well-re-
say the
Camel-
right of the militia to keep and bear arms. It doesn't say the right of the people in the militia to keep and bear arms. It says the right of the people to keep and bear arms. You know what? Every place the Constitution speaks of the people in a way like that, it is talking about the individual rights or powers of the people. It's not a collective. It's not a militia. It's not the people when they're part of another group. It's the people.
It's a well-regulated militia being necessary to the security of a free state. It doesn't say anything about defending your home, carrying concealed weapons, or being able to carry a gun with you everywhere you go. It says that you have
Well,
a legal
I'm glad
right
that
to.
you're not controlling things because I carry a gun with me everywhere I go.
It says that you have a legal right to own a gun for militia duty. Period.
No, it doesn't. You fail at the English language. Go back to elementary.
Okay, let's say that you disagree with my interpretation of the Second Amendment.
Let's just say.
Yeah,
Framers
for this,
disagreed with your interpretation of the Second Amendment.
for the
Next.
sake of argument, let's say that you think the Second Amendment means that every man, woman, and child in the country has the right to own as many guns as they want, can use those guns to defend their home, can carry them concealed, and can bring them everywhere they go.
Well, I
Staying-
mean, I don't quite agree with that because I do believe that you can restrict when it comes to minors. They got to at least be legal adults. But once they're legal adults with all the rights and privileges that entails, then if they can afford the guns.
Mining is an important industry. You can't deny them guns just because they work in a mine. That's not fair.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'm kind of torn on the issue of minors owning guns. Because, if a minor is taught properly by a parent, I don't see why not necessarily.
Right. No. And I do what I would have to temper that by saying in reference to ownership independent of their parents' authority say so. Be the matter of them saying, hey, I'm going to buy a gun, and the parents saying, yeah, you get a gun, or them saying, I want to buy a gun, and the parents saying, yeah, not while you're still a kid.
Maybe just have like a tard clause in there. Like if your kid's retarded, don't let him have a gun.
I think
we should let them have them too in that respect, because eliminate the warning labels and let natural selection thin them out.
Frosted, even leftists have the right to own guns.
Actually, no.
I don't know. Well, I mean, Jack, I believe that if you can get somebody adjudicated as an actual danger to themselves or others, you can, through due process, limit or restrict some rights of the individual. And since that's clearly a mental disorder, and they are the people that are out there saying, if I had a gun, I'd kill all these people, maybe they should have some restrictions.
No, I'm just going to come out and say, I don't care if you're a threat to yourself. If you're a threat to others, then absolutely. If you're a threat to yourself, so what?
Yeah. Also, you have to actually do something. You have to do something illegal. I don't buy any of the, because what happens is you end up with red flag laws, and those are totally bullshit.
Well, no. Here's the thing, Jack, is I don't go for the red flag laws at all. There is a very robust process in place for what you have to do to have somebody declared actually legally and mentally incompetent and institutionalized against their will. And that is the kind of structure you have to have in place, not I think this person is scary, take away their guns, red flag law. No, you go through full due process first, and then you have the question of what
I still can't get fully behind it, because the fact is that a process like that is reliant entirely upon someone's subjective opinion if you have not actually committed a crime. And as we have seen time and before, subjective opinions can be stretched and twisted in 1,000 different ways to hurt Republicans.
Very fair point. Very fair point. And there's a reason why I have got feelings in this direction, but I'm not absolutely adamant on that particular thing, other than absolutely no taking away without some form of due process.
It's staying with originalism, because that's the only legitimate way to interpret the Constitution, according to conservatives. Let's take a look at the weapons that the framers were talking about when they used the word arms. Muskets, single-shot pistols, swords, knives. That's it. There were no ARs, no semi-automatics, no pistols, no bump stocks, no machine guns, no bazookas, no anti-tank weapons.
We already covered this.
Flintlock, Girandoni air rifle, puckle gun, fully automatic weapons. The belt and flintlock, which could do like 14 to 21 shots in a second or two.
Cannons.
Pepper box revolvers.
Also, the bump stock is not a gun.
Yeah.
And there's a reason why they said arms and not a specific weapon, is because they were clearly stating by the meaning of the words at the time, which you would understand if you weren't an insufferable moron, that it is all weapons and means and accoutrement of offense or defense. People could own cannon, they could own body armor, they could own any weapon they could afford, and any ammunition for it, and any accessories that were necessary to that weaponry. You couldn't say, yeah, you can have a musket, but you can't have a powder horn. You can have a cannon, but you can't have cannonballs. No, it was arms specifically because they knew the advancement of technology and weaponry. They knew all of these things.
Speaking of advancement, maybe we could advance through this article a little bit because it's going on for fucking ever.
So if you're going to go by strict interpretation of the Second Amendment, which is what the NRA, conservative judges, and insecure MAGA morons insist on, then Americans have a legal right to own muskets, single-shot pistols, swords, and knives. That's it. Everything else is unconstitutional, not to mention illegal. I seem to have gotten a little off track, haven't I?
There's
No, that was
one
Hey
moron
Camel
in this
taking
article.
us
It's
off
the
track.
author.
No, that was Hey Camel taking us off track. Don't
Yeah.
beat yourself up, Walter.
Getting back to my point about women going through dusty archives, does that mean like old women fingering themselves? All right. I love the idea of taking an argument, and it's a big argument, away from the gun fanatics and SCOTUS justices. There's nothing unconstitutional about gun control laws. They have always been with us as a public safety measure, and we need them now more than. And we need them more now more than ever if we are going to feel safe in our schools, shopping malls, movie theaters, and even in our houses of worship.
Hey, idiot. In the last month, there's been one school that was very, very safe against a public mass shooting thing. You know what happened? They hardened the school. The person with the gun couldn't get inside. They went to a soft target. You know what didn't stop that shooter? Gun control laws.
Well, criminals always follow the law. That's their defining characteristic. So I mean, you make a law against it, they'll have to stop. It's just that simple.
Yeah.
Well, shucks, I was gonna shoot up that school, but they said it was a no-gun zone.
Yeah.
I say we
I
just
don't know
make.
why he's southern.
I say we just
Yeah,
make
Jack,
murder.
my favorite video on that is this one robbers breaking into a house, and the homeowners are like totally knowledgeable about guns and everything. Like, wait, is that this? Yeah, no, that's prohibited by the California gun roster. Is that? Yeah, nice gun, isn't it? Yeah, no, that's prohibited by the roster. Wait, what's that? That's hey, honey, is that one on the roster? No, it isn't. Sorry. He finally comes back with guns that are safe on the roster. It's like points to a gun-free zone sign over his shoulder.
Yeah.
I say we just make murder illegal.
That would solve so many problems.
Yeah.
It seems like the easy solution.
Yeah. All right. Well, with the end of the third article comes the final game.
Wait,
Which
that
is-
article finally ended?
Are you sure you didn't pick that article with me in mind?
Elon Musk.
I could have.
Now,
The
no, I
worst part
did-
is I could have ranted twice as long about that article. I held back.
now, I didn't even know you were a big Second Amendment guy, so. All right. Porno Gender Edition, where I'll give you 3 genders, 2 of which are from the LGBTIA wiki, meaning they're 100% real, and one I made up, and you have to figure out which one is made up. And I'll even give you a short description of each one. So, gender A, Ghibli Choric.
Oh, God.
Gender related
Oh,
to the
no.
aesthetics of Studio Ghibli movies.
I knew
Don't bring him into this, you bastard.
it.
And Frosted was watching Spirited Away, right?
Gender
No,
B.
No, this one's probably real, unfortunately.
Probably.
Gender B, Third Girl.
What?
Gender Gender identity, in which one identifies as 1/3 female and 2/3 non-binary.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
God.
Oh, I thought it was going to be like the third wheel as a girl.
Why even bother naming a gender at that point where the definition is so utterly trivial that it can just be, oh well, no, only a quarter today.
Yeah.
Have you listened to any of the genders from this wiki?
I'm 1/5 girl today.
Third girl.
All right. And gender C, Esherick.
Huh?
Gender that feels as if it bends space.
What?
MC Escher, the the
Yeah.
artist guy.
I say A is fake.
All right.
I'm going-
And I'll start a poll for the chat so they can get it on. And don't forget, one of the options is that they're all real.
I'm gonna say that Mr. Art Student came up with letter C.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, Frost is an art student?
Didn't you go to college for an arts degree?
It was digital post-production.
Ah.
I was going to say, no wonder he doesn't watch my streams. It would send any classically trained artist into
Yeah.
spasms.
All right. So, Jack, what are you going with?
Excuse me, C.
All right. Moon.
A. And the reason being is I love Studio Ghibli movies, and this is just like shitting all over it.
Terry.
I hate to agree with Jack, but I'm going to go C.
All right, Camel.
Just a moment while I flip a coin, because I'm thinking either B or all real. All real.
Okay. Let's see. Chat is leaning C with A at a close second. Yeah. Give it like
His heart is our pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
Right, I'm a fantastic artist. I've been playing coloring pixels for like 100 hours.
well, it's kind of like my my life idol. You know, after art school didn't go so well, he moved on to other things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not all of those things good.
Well, most of them.
Well, I mean, he was anti-smoking and a vegetarian, but
Yeah, but I can forgive him for both of those.
Yeah. All right. And I think I'll end it there.
I'm pretty sure he loved dogs.
I mean, he tested a
And-
cyanide pill on his dog before he used it.
Well, I mean, do you really want the dog to go through life having watched his master die horribly? And
Yeah.
Oh my
Apparently
god!
he-
I
He
just
hated
realized.
fox hunting.
I just
What?
realized the best movie idea. That Hitler's dog lives, and it has to go through the Nuremberg trial.
There you go.
I
There-
would so watch that.
there is no rule in this book that says a dog can't stand trial for war crimes.
Heil Bud. I would watch the fuck out of that movie.
Plot
you got-
twist: the dog gets acquitted specifically because the laws they're trying to cite actually talk about like a man killing another or something like that. It's the language specifically excludes animals by not mentioning them.
Man, nobody steal my idea. All right.
I'm just trying to imagine like the '90s VHS cover for that movie. It's a dog with a little Hitler mustache doing the salute,
All right.
and there's like some wacky criminals in the background that look like they're trying to get him or something.
All right, so let's see. And the answer is C is fake.
Aw.
All right, so let's see. Let's look at the flags for the real ones. And the flags aren't that interesting this week.
Nah.
Here's a Ghibli Korik.
Such a stupid name.
Well, it's pronounced Ghibli, but okay.
Well, I can see at least the coloration to some of the studios.
It's
Art
pronounced
themes, so-
Ghibli Korik. And there's Third Girl, which apparently don't even know what the shape of a flag is supposed to be.
Yeah.
I mean,
There are some oddballs out there that don't have regular rectangular flags with
They
metal.
did a portrait instead of landscape. That's dumb.
what's the name of the country? What's the country that has the triangular flag? Is it
Oh.
Nepal?
I
don't
forget.
They're not important enough to remember.
No, they're really not.
And as in weeks past, I also have another gender that would be too stupid for you guys to think I made up. Let's see. Which
Ew.
which will be revealed in Poe or No Gender Edition, Too Retarded for TV.
Yeah.
All right, so this week's gender is sclerogender.
What?
When one's
Oh.
gender...
you appreciate the Final Fantasy series made by Square.
No, sclere, S-C-L.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. When one's gender relates to a binary man, but also can be conceptualized as if it was a fungi.
The fuck?
And there's the flag for sclerogender.
So like that stupid joke. Why didn't the mushroom go to the park? Because they took that and literally turned that crappy joke into a gender.
Basically, you feel like a mushroom.
Is this like some sort of some penis thing? Is this like a Freudian thing?
I wouldn't be.
Excuse me a moment. I need to go find a brick wall to hit my head against vigorously.
All right. And now for our final article, which the title is actually very true, or very accurate rather. A truly radical perspective on drug use.
I'm game. Say more.
By Communist Party of America / Maoist.
Oh my god.
And here we have possibly the worst use of Photoshop I have ever seen in my life.
The worst?
Yeah, I suck at Photoshop, and this is terrible.
The worst or the best?
But like this person just has no head, and like the text.
Yes, those
is
are the Twin Towers.
The text is barely readable.
Yeah. I had
this
to struggle to make it out.
This is grade A autism on full display.
Speaking for the autists, we're not going to claim this author
Hmm.
or the artist.
I hate to break this to you, Will, but it seems to be a disturbing correlative effect between autism and communism. Because this is
there's a correlation between retardation and communism. I can see where the confusion sets in, though.
All right, let's cut the shit. The war on drugs.
You mean
obviously.
doo-doo? Sorry.
Yeah.
I've got to
You,
doo-doo.
you need a good dishwasher for the after effects of that. Bucket of bleach.
The war on drugs obviously isn't good. We all know it. Even many liberals and reactionaries share this opinion. However, we wish to offer a more radical perspective on the idea of the drug trade and how drugs...
Because that's what the world needed. Another radical opinion.
Mhm.
Go on.
Well, this radical idea is going to save the world, as you'll find out. All right, let's see. And how drugs, especially fentanyl,
Inject the author with all the fentanyl in the country.
uh, will play a major role in the destruction of the labor aristocracy in the First World. Before
By
we
which he
get into
means cheap blacks.
before we get into that, we first need to discuss who exactly this labor aristocracy is. The labor aristocracy is a layer of the strata of the First World working class who are excluded from the global proletariat because they receive super profits from Third World workers. The mechanism.
So Apple.
Well, I think it's just like the working class people, but they're in here, so they're a lot better off than the working class people in the Third World. The mechanism that allows this to occur is called unequal exchange, or basically the idea that when the First World, generally identified as OECD countries, trades with the periphery realistically gets fucked. In fact, according to Irish political economist Zach Cope, that's a really appropriate name.
So one moron quoting another moron.
Yes,
listening.
exactly.
Thus, whilst it takes the average worker in the non-OECD countries 44.3 minutes of work to earn the money to purchase a kilogram of bread, it takes 11.7 minutes of work for her OECD counterpart to do the same, a factorial difference of 3.7.19.
Clearly written before Bidenomics.
Judging by the grammar, it sounds like it's from the 19th century. Thus, the cost of living in the Third World is in fact high when one takes into account 1. Prices that are not tied to the price of local labor power, petrol, electrical appliance, air travel, and 2. Wages, which affect the ability to take advantage of low prices and indeed high ones. Divided world, divided class. That's a pretty big difference. And it's only growing as the global divide in poverty expands and the schism between the First and Third World gets wider and wider. If we are to consider similar logic applied to other strata of the First World working class, we can generally define the tendency that it is against the interest of the white First World proletariat to particularly keep the status quo in order. From this,
there's something that all of the poorest countries, a couple somethings that all the poorest countries in the world have in common. One is not a free market capitalistic economic system, and 2, not a democratic republic form of government. And you put those two commonalities together and you end up with poor people frequently starving, the incompetence or incapability of exploiting the country's natural resources, and all the wealth centralized into as few people as possible.
so it was the colonists' fault, in other words. Yeah, it's all white people.
Always.
Let's see. We can generally define the tendency that it is against the interest of the white First World proletariat to particularly keep the status quo in order. From this, we can probably infer that the average white prole won't be doing much heavy lifting in the revolution to come. Because of this, we must look to the most revolutionary sections of the working class, generally those who are rooted in the Third World, or prior victims of imperialism, who carry both empathy for their exploited brothers in arms, but also a revolutionary motive to overthrow their overlords, both the bourgeoisie, petite and big, and their henchmen, the labor aristocracy that populate the First World in swaths.
Well, these
So-
days I don't do much heavy lifting at all, but anybody that tries to go revolutionary near me, gonna have a bad day.
So basically, the working class has it good here, so they're probably not going to have a revolution.
That makes sense.
As
Obviously,
opposed to the working class in countries that are socialist or communist and oligarchies or uh, uh, autocracies, and well, they have it bad.
well, that's the Kulaks' fault. Yeah. If it weren't for them, then everybody would have enough grain.
That's true.
Let's see. Obviously, out of such enormous super profits, since they are obtained over and above the profits which capitalists squeeze out of the workers of their own country, it is possible to bribe the labor leaders and the upper stratum of the labor aristocracy. And that is just what the capitalists of the advanced countries are doing. They are bribing them in 1,000 different ways, direct and indirect, overt and covert. Imperialism, the highest stage of capitalism. This is where we get the part about drugs. According to the $$ Office of Justice Programs, the greatest portion of drug users are white, and in states where drugs such as marijuana or psilocybin, I don't know, I'm not a pothead, have been, Will's a pothead. I mean, Camel's a pothead.
No, I've just heard Scribe pronounce it too many times.
Sure. All right, let's see. Have been legalized because of the price of such luxuries on the higher end of the income spectrum. Therefore, if drugs were to become decriminalized, substance abuse would become more prevalent among the labor aristocracy, something that will lead to drudgery and do-nothingness, an obvious positive for the would-be revolutionary.
The two things legalized there, which are like the least likely to kill you as the user, at least immediately.
That's not only
Am I
that.
am I the only one who's kind of like just not hearing the words that are being said anymore?
I'm kind of at that point.
I don't know if whether it's I'm tired or because he's using the communist gobbledygook. I think that's
Jack?
really. I think that is what attracts the most people to communism at this point, is that they just use gobbledygook language until you get confused and you're like, okay, whatever.
Jack, I wish I could be so privileged. It's coming through my headset. I can't not hear it.
Man, we should start a channel just based on that point right there, Jack. I'm going to call it Vouch. Okay. Therefore, if drugs were to become decriminalized, substance abuse would become more prevalent amongst the labor aristocracy, something that will lead to drudgery and do-nothingness, an obvious positive for the would-be revolutionary. Not only that, but in states where these drugs decriminalizations have occurred, such as the aforementioned Colorado, drug use deaths are on the up approximately 82% since 2001, showing something is definitely eating away at the first world proletariat. Maybe something
Notice
that
I said it's up 82% and doesn't give an actual count. You think maybe there's a reason for that?
Couldn't be.
maybe something that could even push them towards an unlikely revolution. All right, so yeah, among the working class, drug use deaths are up 82%. Now let's see how they start the next paragraph. These are obviously not the only positives. With the
We're
destruction
killing
of
off the working class with drugs. Celebrate it!
These are obviously not the only positives, with the destruction of the prison industrial complex being another factor to the situation. However, it is important that we realize that the first world proletariat needs to be dealt with, and a painless death is more attractive than even a quick but painful death, as would be the case if the revolution were to be exported to the first world by the revolutionary third. In conclusion, drugs aren't bad, MK. it is important that we recognize that the time to deal with the drug problem is under socialism. And under capitalism, in a state of perpetual societal hospice, drug use is almost a natural reaction to the terrible situation that surrounds you.
Actually, drug use is so prevalent in capitalism because there's just so much wealth around. People want to use some of it by comparison. You don't get it under socialism because people can't afford it.
So, yeah, there we go. We use drugs to kill off the working class of the first world. And that way we can have the revolution in the third world, and that will lead to utopia.
But are the drugs safe and effective?
Always.
As I said from the beginning, let's start this radical approach to the drug war in the first world by taking all the fentanyl in the U.S. and injecting it into the author.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's one
so,
way.
Call it a mercy.
Yeah, so I'm not the first to point this one out, but yeah, communists don't love the poor; they just hate the rich.
Yeah. That is true.
No, they love the poor. They want everybody to be poor except themselves.
That's also true.
So if they have to, like, kill the entire working class through drug overdoses to get what they want,
That's fine.
you got to break a few eggs.
Yeah, exactly.
What's this breaking eggs? They shot the chicken 9 years ago.
Yeah.
Fair point.
Well, it's
They used the last black powder for the shot.
Well, it's a great leap forward. You got to shoot those birds so they don't eat the seeds and all that stuff.
Hmm.
All right, so that's all I have for today, gentlemen. So take a moment to shill my co-host and guest. I am not Jack Gunsky, paints his room on Saturdays, and on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern, he has Quippers United on his channel. Let's see, Moon has his Twitch channel linked in the description where he plays games that aren't as good as Super Seducer.
Like a loser.
Yes, I am.
But he's got at least one fan out there.
Yeah, his wife.
No, Johnny Plays is on Team Moon Taint.
Oh, okay.
Let's see. Terry is on Quippers United. He's on Mr. Adam and Hammer's Minions Nights. He's on Johnny Hellcat's streams. He's on Six of Sober streams. He's on Tears Midnight streams. He's on the cover of Field and Stream magazine. Let's see.
I look over my shoulder for him every time I load OBS to start streaming.
Yeah.
Is that everything?
Yeah, that's
He also wrote the song Somebody's Watching Me.
And he's a background vocalist on Islands in the Stream.
And Camel, I understand you'd like to shill your good friend Willett Forge?
Yeah, I've heard that he streams on Saturday afternoons around 5 p.m. Eastern. And looking at his schedule, tomorrow should be an art stream, the Watching Paint Dry show, which I know Jack usually speaks highly of because everybody knows that Jack's crazy, but Jack's going to miss it because he's painting his room.
No, Jack's done painting his room.
So he claims.
Yeah.
So he claims. Though he might be painting another room.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's an addiction.
It really is.
It's
Friends don't let friends paint.
true.
All right. So I actually won't be available next week, so there won't be a show next week, but we should be back the week after. Stop speaking in the third person. Let's see. So, yeah, we should be back the week after next week. So, we'll see you guys then.
See you guys.
See you later, guys.
Bye.
Bye.